Hello everyone, welcome back to Happy Zone of Maths. Today I'm not going to teach you anything. I'm here to just interact with you all because I know that very soon in every school your first exam is going to start, right? This video is specially for grade 9 and grade 10 children. I want you to take all these years exams as a board exams only. And I want you to prepare for these exams very well. Now, what do I mean by prepare well for this exam? What I mean to say is, whatever your 100% is, you are supposed to give that. If you know there is an exam, like 10 days or 15 days in advance, you must prepare for it. Am I correct, children? And I am here for that purpose only. Today, I am going to give you 7 tips which will help you to score good in maths. And those who have a confidence that, or those who are good in mathematics, for them I want to tell you that you must set your target to achieve out of marks, because maths is one of that subject where you can get out of marks, and I'm sure many of you can get out of marks easily. So let's get started. Point number 1 is, as I have said it from the very first video of mine, that your basic concepts of maths must be clear. And if you're not clear, you can refer my previous videos so that your basic concepts will be revised clearly. Remember children, basic concepts must be clear. Second important point is, you should not keep any concept as an option, children. See, now as it is, this is your first exam. That means it is called, in many a school, it will be known as a unit test, first unit test, or pre-mid exam, or periodic test 1, whatever it is. Okay, so there is a less portion. There might be hardly like 2 to 4 lessons for these exams. Okay, so what you are supposed to do now for this exam is, whatever lessons are there, no concept of these lessons should be kept as an option. You have this bad habit, children. Don't do it. Okay? You have to prepare for each and every concept. Is it clear to you all? How to prepare? I'll tell you. But no concept for option. Is it clear? Now, how to prepare? You will say, ma'am, so many sums are there. But it's okay. There are sums. Plan it. You have days in your hands, right? You have many days in your hands. So plan your work properly. You can see in this picture, I have shown one exercise to you, wherein I have marked it every sum as A, B, C, D, again A, B, C, D, again A, B, C, D. Okay? Now why I have done these markings? I know that when I am saying that each and every sum of these lessons which are there for the exam must be solved, I understand your psychology as well. Ma'am, solving so many sums becomes very boring sometimes. I know that. So what we can do is, if you mark your exercise in this way, it is going to be helpful for you. How? What you have to do is, day 1, select all A sums. So solve all A sums. What will happen in this way? In this way, you will be able to do maximum number of sums of different types, right? If you keep on solving it sequentially, then you won't be able to complete most of the concepts in a day. And one more thing is, it will be quite boring for you, right? So if you follow this way, you will be able to complete most of the concepts in one day. Next day, you go for all B sums. Day after that, go for C sums. In this way, if you do the revision, you will be able to solve most of the maximum number of the sums. Also, like many of you know it already, but still I want to mention it in this video that with these exercise examples, you must solve all the solved examples from the textbook, children. Because being a teacher, I know how we set the papers. One of the solved example will be there in your exam. That is for sure. So don't miss out solved examples from the textbook. So in point 2, what I have said is, no concept for the option. Each and every sum from the chapters which are there for the exam must be solved, including solved examples. Clear, children? Now, third important point is doing calculations carefully. Now, what do I mean here is, now it's been 10 years I'm correcting your papers and I've seen the same kind of mistakes repeated by different students, but the mistakes are same. So let me tell you what were they. The first mistake is, I don't know what is your problem, like children. Whenever you do the calculations, in my class I always tell my children that focus on reducing the number. Like if in this example, you can see that this 24 is going to be reduced if I send this 2 to the other side of equal to sign, right? So I should not multiply this 2 with this 144. What will happen in that case? This 144 will be doubled and the number will be increased. But we must focus on reducing the numbers. We must do calculations in such a way that the numbers will be reduced so that your accuracy will be improved. So observe your sum when you are solving it, children. That take proper decisions while doing calculations. Observe your equation and see which numbers you can reduce first. This is one of the things. Second important thing while doing calculation is whenever there will be 2 or more terms, okay, in that case put it in a brackets, because if you observe here, okay, what do you do is, if you don't put it in a bracket, only these 2 terms will be multiplied and you will forget to multiply it with the second term, and this mistake I have seen many a time, children. So if you see more than 2 terms, especially in linear equations and quadratic equations, this will be there. Okay, so make sure that if there are more than 2 terms, it must be in a brackets, so that whenever you are doing transpositions, whenever you are doing multiplications, you won't go wrong and you will get the correct answers. While doing calculations, one more mistake I have seen is copying wrong number. How many of you have done this mistake? Tell me. Put it in my comment box. I have seen my very good children doing this mistake. Like the number written above, it's something else. But the number taken for the calculation, it's something else. You can see it in this image. What will happen? The whole answer goes wrong if you write incorrect number. So children, be very careful while writing numbers, while doing calculations. Read question carefully, copy that numbers from the question to the answer sheet, and also from the answer sheet, like if you have written it on the first line, while copying it on the 5th line, be careful that you have copied it correctly. Okay? Don't lose marks for these kind of mistakes, and don't call these as a silly mistakes. These are big mistakes. Okay, and we are supposed to avoid these mistakes. And how will you avoid it? Just remember that you will copy numbers correctly. Fourth important thing I would like to tell you all is, most of the schools have their school question papers in their library. Okay, so I would suggest you to take those question papers, previous year's question papers, and practice from those question papers. Okay, that is kind of helpful for you, and you will understand how your question paper will be. So if there are any sums which were not part of your textbook, you will be able to solve those sums. Okay, remember children, this is one of the important part. Okay, if your school don't have question papers in your library, you may contact your passed out students. There will be at least 5 to 6 sincere students who might have kept their question papers properly. So you may contact them, get the question papers from them, and then solve these question papers by setting time. You know, if you solve it in this way, you will be able to complete your maths paper in time, right? Completing maths paper in a time is a big task, right? And this is the method which will be helpful for you to improve your speed. Set a timer for you and then solve this question paper. This will definitely help you, children. One point I would like to share is, you must take previous year's board question papers as well, And from those board question papers, whatever the lessons are there for this exam, you might solve questions based upon these lessons, because most of the teachers will focus that you get a practice on solving questions which were asked in board exams. So few questions must be there in the coming unit test from the previous year's board exam papers. So do this. Next important thing is presentation. Whenever you go for any party, you prepare well, right? You dress well, right? You wear proper footwears, proper hairstyles, right? You do all these things. Similarly, we have to work on our presentation of work in the exam as well. Okay? Make sure that in your answer sheet, you draw a right margin wherein you will do your rough work. There has to be 2 margins to the left hand side wherein you will write sub question numbers properly. Okay? Do not scribble your work if anything goes wrong. Just draw a slant line or a slipping line and then redo the work. If any number you have written wrong or if any formula you have written wrong, don't overwrite it. Cancel it and rewrite it on the next line. Presentation of a work matters a lot and you must practice it from this exam only, so that till the time you go for the board exam, you are well prepared for it. Alright? And the last important part is try to attempt all the questions, children. Now, what do I mean by try to attempt all the questions? I mean that you solve the questions which you can solve easily in the beginning. Okay? If there are few sums which you think, no, I won't be able to solve, it's okay. You leave it aside for that time. But at the end, whatever sums you thought that you won't be able to solve, read them carefully. Okay? Once you read it, you will understand it is based upon so and so concept. So whatever you know related to that concept, try to apply that on that question. Because you know that in mathematics, there are marks for the steps as well. And we teachers tell you that how to write or how to solve that particular sum stepwise. Right? Now, for example, in this word problem, if you feel initially that I won't be able to solve this sum, but at the end, when you are done with all the sums which you are able to solve, you must read this sum. You will recollect the times when we have taught it in the class. You will recollect, okay, I can consider at least a variable for this age. Then whatever is the condition given, from that I can write the next statement as well. I can at least frame equations. Right? And if you do these many things, at least you will get some marks. If you don't attempt it, you are getting 0 marks. Right? So do not leave any question. Try to attempt it. Try to remember the time when we have taught you, when you have practiced these sums. You will definitely find out a way to solve this sum. And once you start solving, you never know. You will get the final answer as well. Initially, you might have felt, age sum mein keles nahi it neat, but it's okay. At the end, when you are calm, when you are done with your paper, you will be able to solve. Okay, children? So do not leave any question. Try to attempt something. Write down given to prove. Try to draw the figure related to it if it is asked. Okay? So do not leave any question. Try to attempt all the questions. That is very important. Also, though I'm telling you that you have to work hard, you have to do practice, you have to do planning, but with that, I would also like to tell you that don't be panic. Okay? Whatever I'm telling you is to prepare you for the exam, not to demoralize you. Okay? My motive is to guide you how to move ahead. But that doesn't mean that I'm trying to scare you by telling you to do so many things. Alright, children, please don't be panic. It is just an exam. There are lakhs of students who give exam, who have given exam, who will give exam. It's not that big deal. Okay? But that doesn't mean that you should take it lightly. Alright. So what I'm trying to tell you is, don't be panic, don't be depressed. but at the same time be prepared. Prepare yourself. Unless you will prepare, unless you will execute your planning, you won't see the result changed. Okay, you have to change the result. You have to rise your level. Tell this to yourself. Talk to yourself every day before going to sleep. I can. Okay, and I believe in you. You can. Remember this. You can. All the best for the exam. Thank you.